The old way of scaling LinkedIn ads was hiring more performance marketers. The new way is building human-in-the-loop systems that make decisions for you. Today, I'm going to walk you through the exact LinkedIn automation workflows that we use inside of our ad agency to scale results without burning out our team. If you're new to the channel, I'm Silvio Perez. I'm the founder of AdConversion. We teach 9,000 plus B2B marketers how to master ads, and we manage over $3 million a month in ad spend for top B2B SaaS brands. The platform we use to automate our LinkedIn ads optimization is Sammy. We actually built Sammy out of desperation because we needed a more scalable way to scale our team's bandwidth and clients' results. You can get started with Sammy for free, so you can put everything we're talking about in this video into practice. Okay, so the first automation that we love and always use for LinkedIn ads is called budget protection. So budget protection, what this is going to do is it's going to notify us once 80% of our budget has been spent, and then it's going to pause all our campaigns once we reach our budget for the month. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. I'm going to select LinkedIn. I'm going to create this. And just to show you what this looks like is it's a two-step workflow. And inside of this automation, the first step is to notify us once 80% of our budget has been spent. And then in the second step, it's going to pause all our campaigns once we reach the budget for the month. And then it's going to loop back again the next month. And it's going to go again and again every month until I turn this off or I modify the workflow. So all I got to do is I just have to come here, click modify on step number 1. I need to come here, choose my customer account. Because I integrated LinkedIn with Sammy, I can see all of my customers here that I can choose from. Now I have the scope level of account. I'm going to set it to notify me. And Sammy is going to check every single hour my ad spend against my goal to notify me once I reach 80%. And you can fully customize this. So like this is a standard workflow and an example template. But for example, like if I want to get notified once I reach 50%, I can switch this to 50% and then I can just go ahead and add in my budget. So for example, if I had a $10,000 budget in this hypothetical scenario, it'll notify me once 50% of my budget has been spent, and I can go ahead and save that. And then because Sammy is integrated with Slack, this is where it gets even more fun because I can enable Slack notifications. And then here on my Slack notification, Sammy will send me this message to whatever channel that I want to be notified in. So for example, I can go ahead and choose specific channels in my Slack workspace. So I'll choose this one. And I can fully customize the message. So if you want to, tweak it as you see fit, add in variables to push in different sorts of information, you can do all of that here. I'm actually going to just modify this to say 50%, and I'm going to go ahead and save this. Now, the second step is it's going to pause all my campaigns once I reach my target. So all I got to do is click modify. And here, and when we modify the rule, I just need to update this for my monthly budget. So in my case, let's say I have $10,000 a month. I'll go ahead and switch that. And that's it. It's going to go ahead and pause all my campaigns once I exceed $10,000. Now, what we like to do and what we tell our team members in the agency is set this at like about 98% of your target. So instead of it being $10,000, I might do $9,800. And this will just make sure that there's no chance of me overspending because in this case, the rule is going to run every single hour. So from when the rule checks and the hour and once it checks again, that's a 60-minute window for a margin of overspend or a margin of error. So just to be safe, by putting it a bit lower, it'll make sure that you don't go over. You can also be a bit more aggressive. Maybe I say $9,900, that's fine, or $9,950. But if you really want to make sure you don't overspend, just set it a little bit lower so you don't give it that opportunity. And that's it. I can enable Slack notifications here as well. It'll let me know once I reach my monthly budget. And again, I'll just choose my channels that I want to get notified. I'll save this and I'll just go ahead and publish this. And this is the first automation that we absolutely love and always use to scale our LinkedIn ads. The second automation that we love for LinkedIn ads is ad scheduling. So LinkedIn is expensive, and if you're dealing with smaller budgets, especially, we find ad scheduling to be really powerful to be able to consolidate your budget to cover more of the prime hours and your best performing days versus spreading yourself out 7 days a week and 24 hours a day. So the way that looks like is here in Sammy, I'm going to use this ad scheduling template to build this really easily. I'm going to go ahead and select LinkedIn, click create. And here in this ad scheduling workflow, I've got 2 steps here for this automation as well. The first step, it's going to pause my campaigns once I reach the end of the day. And then in the second step, it's going to enable my campaigns at the morning of the next day. And then it's going to loop again every single day until I pause this workflow. So all I got to do is I got to modify the first step of this automation. and I need to choose my customer account, and I have to change my time based on how I want to set up this ad schedule. So for instance, right now we have it set to run 7 days a week, and I can choose campaigns or campaign groups, whatever it is that I want to pause. So for example, I'm going to just select campaigns, and I'm going to go ahead and select all my campaigns for the sake of simplicity, but of course I can filter this. I'm going to click save. And now here, what I need to do is I need to adjust my schedule. So right now I have an ad schedule set up 7 days a week. Maybe I only want to run my ads Monday through Friday. So what that looks like is I would unselect Sunday and Saturday and only keep Monday through Friday enabled. And then here, what I need to do is I need to decide what is the end of the day for me. So by default, I have to set this 8 p.m. UTC time. So what I would recommend that you do is you take your time zone and you compare it against UTC time, because that's what Sammy's leveraging. And also that's what your ad account is going off of. And basically using UTC time, you can choose the end of the day for you. So in my case, I've got 8 p.m. UTC, and that's what I want. But for you, maybe that's 6 p.m., maybe that's 12 p.m. I don't know, depending on your time zone, where you're going after, you might have a different end of day. So I'm going to leave 8 p.m., but I could switch this as I needed to. The next thing is the rule. So it's going to just look at any of your ads, or I should say any of your campaigns in this example, that have impressions greater than 0 will be eligible in this case to get shut off, and it's going to run once a day. Next, I can enable Slack notifications. This is awesome just to keep me in the loop that this is actually happening and my ad schedule is running properly. So I can just leave this as is, and it's going to say campaigns have been paused for the night shift, and it'll just give me a heads up that this is happening every single day. And again, same thing, I can choose my Slack channel, I can get notified in it, and we're off to the race. I can also switch this too. So for example, like maybe I don't want to pause my campaigns. You could do a budget rule, and then instead you can set a negative budget of like a minus 90%. And then Sammy would drop your budget by 90% instead of completely pausing the campaigns. In our experience with LinkedIn, we found it to be pretty dependable, where pausing and enabling doesn't disrupt the performance too much compared to some other platforms like Meta, that those types of changes can be a bit more aggressive. So I'm going to go ahead and leave all that. I'm going to save it. And then now in the second step, I'd modify this. I would come here now and I would just adjust my values. So in this case, we're going to run it Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Okay, cool. I have it based at 8 a.m. UTC, but I would just adjust this based on my time zone and what I want. Enable notifications, choose my Slack channel, and that's it. I've got this awesome workflow in place to ad schedule. And this is really powerful, especially if you're dealing with smaller budgets. So for instance, like if I'm running 7 days a week, if I go from 7 days to 5 days a week, I've just consolidated my budget, where now I've increased the average daily budget by 50%. If you go from spending, 24 hours a day to just 8 hours a day, you can increase that daily budget by 200%. So you can really just increase and constrain the variables so that you have more impact over the times and the hours in which you serve. Now, this will not force LinkedIn to serve your budget equally per hour. You can't control that, unfortunately, but at least with ad scheduling, you can set guardrails to the best of your ability to try to cover the most optimal periods for you and your business. Just wanted to take a quick second and say, if you're loving this video, you're going to absolutely love our free courses over at AdConversion.com. You can sign up for free and you can get access to our Google ads, Reddit ads, LinkedIn ads courses. They're all here. You'll get access to our existing courses and future ones once you sign up. If you don't believe us, I get it. It sounds too good to be true. Just check out our wall of love and you can see that people have landed jobs, they've started agencies, and the material we've created really helped them. And if you're wondering like why we're doing this, we're trying to create the go-to place in the world to master B2B ads so that when somebody is trying to learn, they have a place they can go and learn from qualified people and not get ripped off in the process. The third automation we love for LinkedIn ads is called magic bidding. So in LinkedIn, it's not uncommon to use manual bidding because you can set floor bids and then gradually raise your bids over time to find the optimal bid amount, comparing reach versus cost. The only downside with that approach is it's super manual and it's very time consuming to find that optimal bid. So this is where automation can really help. So using the magic bidding SAM template, I'm going to go ahead and create this. And the way this automation works is it will basically automatically increase my bids for my best performing LinkedIn campaigns. So I'm going to go ahead and modify this. And just like every rule, we'll create choose our customer and we'll choose our campaigns. So I just really want to focus on this piece here and the rule so you have context. So Here I can choose my bidding variable, and I can also set a bid cap. So for example, the least I want to bid on this is $3, and the max I want to bid on this campaign is $30. So what this bidding cap will do is it'll protect you. So it'll protect you from going too low, and vice versa, it'll protect you from going too high. And what I could do if I wanted to fully automate increasing and decreasing bids using Sammy is I would create two different workflows or two different SAMs. One I would create around increasing my bids, and then I create a new one around decreasing my bids. So for the increasing my bids, what I would do is I would choose my campaigns, and then I would adjust my bidding variable. So in this case, what it's doing is it's going to increase my bids by 10% and never exceed $30. And it's only going to increase my bids once per day based on the data and the performance of this month. And the rule is if my manual bid is 90% of my average cost per click, it's going to increase the bid. That basically means if your average cost per click is higher than your manual bid, that probably means your manual bid is too low and you can increase it. Now, if I wanted to get more picky with the rule, for example, like maybe I have campaigns that I can increase the bids on, but they're not performing very well. This is where you can add on to the rule and you can say, like, for example, maybe I have a cost per conversion goal. I could say, and my cost per conversion is less than $1,000, assuming that was my goal. So what this is doing, again, is looking at my manual bids, the manual bids that are lower than my average cost per click. We can increase the bids because if the manual bid is lower than the average, then that's a really good sign that your bid is too small. We'll increase the bids by 10% in this case, never exceeding $30, and it'll run once per day. So now if I wanted to do this workflow, but for the opposite, I could just switch the variable here from a positive number to a negative. And maybe what I would do is the exact opposite. So I would say in this case, if my cost per conversion is less than 1,000, I want to increase the bids because they're doing really well. And then vice versa, if they're doing bad, I'd say if my cost per conversion is greater than 1,000, I want to reduce the bids even further, as an example. So using this magic bidding automation, we're able to take this winning strategy of floor to ceiling bidding, where we're dropping the floor bid and then we're raising to the ceiling over time, but just automate it so we don't have to spend so much time doing this manually. The fourth automation that we love to use is called ongoing maintenance. The maintenance phase is arguably the most time consuming from an optimization standpoint. And this is where automation is really powerful. So we're going to use this template called ongoing maintenance, and this is going to pause our campaigns or ads to just have stopped working over time. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to choose LinkedIn. I'm going to create this. It's a really simple workflow. It's just one step. It's pausing and then it's running on a loop. So I'm going to go ahead and modify my rule here, and let's go ahead and choose my customer account. And as a default, because I'm using a template, it's pause ads with high cost per conversion for the rule name. You can completely modify this. We're going to have to go now and choose our campaigns, but we could have this be at the campaign level, the campaign group level. We can adjust this. I actually really like to have this at the ad level, because at the ad level, this is where a lot of the pausing, enabling, and the velocity of optimization really needs to happen. And the ad level will impact the campaign level performance. And generally speaking, when you're optimizing, you don't want to just react based on the campaign level performance, because the campaign level performance kind of misleads. Because when you drill into the campaign, you go down to the ad level, that's where you really get a good sense of, does this campaign have legs or not, right? Is there opportunity to scale or not? Because, for example, my overall campaign might have a bad CPA of, let's say, $1,000, but when I drill into the ad level, I might have certain ads that are driving a CPA much lower than 1,000. But because I have other ads that are bad and they haven't been paused yet, which is why this automation is so important, it's dragging down and increasing the overall CPA of the campaign. So we'll leave ads here for the sake of demonstration. I would just go now and choose the campaigns that I want to apply this to. For the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to select all of my campaigns in this account. Here, I'm going to leave the task as pause. If for whatever reason I am fearful and I don't want Sammy to just go ahead and start pausing all of my ads, maybe I don't have new creatives ready because I don't have good creative operations yet, what you can do is you can click this button, and what it's going to do is it's going to select manual approval. So when you get notified in Slack, you'll see an alert like this with a button that says approve. You have to click on it. It's going to direct you into Sammy's log page, and then you have to manually approve the ad for final blessing. So you do have, even if it's just the ability of getting notified and then taking the final action, is still super valuable, because unfortunately most people are just blowing up their budgets because they're just not checking their ads fast enough, right? Because they're busy. You guys have got different things to do. And this automation runs every hour on the hour in the background. So while you're on client calls, while you're doing, the 5 million jobs that you have, this is taking care of your ads. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the time frame and the rules. By default, we have it set based on the last 90 days, but you can adjust this as you see fit. Personally, I like 90 days because it makes sure that I'm looking over a long enough time horizon where I'm giving the ad, in this case, the benefit of the doubt, right? Where if I was only looking at it like a 14-day period, might be a bit too soon. So 90 days is nice because if it's not performing over a 90-day period, then it's a pretty good chance that this ad has stopped performing for us. And then here, what we're going to do is we're going to just modify our rule. As a default, I'm using cost per conversion. So for me, maybe it's cost per conversion greater than 1,000. If my ad has a cost per conversion greater than 1,000, that's too expensive. I don't want that, and I want this ad to get shut off. You can completely customize the rule. I'm using cost per conversion as the sake of demonstration, but for example, maybe you cared about meetings booked or opportunities, whatever conversion action you care about in your account, because as long as the conversion's set up in your ad account, Sammy is pulling it and you can use that. So for instance, like maybe for me, it's cost greater than 1,000. And because I have conversion actions from HubSpot, MQLs less than 1 as an example. So if it's cost greater than 1,000, MQLs less than 1, I don't want it, right? That means it's burning my money. I'm spending more than $1,000 and I'm not generating MQLs. It's no good. So you can completely customize it as you see fit. And then from here, what I'll do is I'll just enable Slack notifications. So when the ad gets flagged, I'm notified. And if I have manual approval, I'll give final say to pause the ads. Or if I don't have manual approval, it'll get shut off. And just using this CPA automation, like you can cut 15 to 30% of wasted ad spend. It is dramatic how much ad spend we waste because we're just not fast enough to catch ads that are underperforming. And if you're looking at me and you're watching this video and you're like, Silvio, I don't really have a number in mind, that's a bigger problem. That speaks to you don't have your logic defined yet of like what success or failure looks like for your ads. So you need to figure that out because whether you use automation or not, there should be logic guiding your decisions on increasing, decreasing, pausing, scaling, etc. I hope this video was valuable. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Really helps us grow our reach as a small channel, and subscribe so you can be notified of future videos. When you're ready, come check us out at AdConversion.com and join our community of 9,000 plus B2B marketers and master ads with our free courses. I'll see you in the next one.